Hello, this is the Bible in 5 years. My name is Armando. We are reading the Bible in chronological order. We're reading about 300 stories or more of the Bible, and it's going to take us about 2 years or a little bit longer. And this project podcast is aimed for those who have never read the Bible. They don't know what the Bible says. They're not familiarized with the Bible. Maybe they don't care what the Bible says, and it's okay. We're not going to judge you here. This is not for Christians, but if you're a Christian, you're also welcome, and you can support us. I will, at the end of the reading, I will tell you how you can support us. And don't worry, there's no commitment of any way or any form or shape. So go ahead and listen to the stories. It will help you, and you might actually like some of them. I'm going to change the music so we can do a reading of today. Let's go. Okay, today is day 234. Instructions for the priest. This is part 2. It was too long, so I had to split the reading in two. Leviticus chapter 22 from verse 1 on. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons to treat the sacred gifts that the Israelites set apart for me with great care, so they do not profane my holy name. I am the Lord. Remind them that if any of their descendants are ceremonially unclean when they approach the sacred food presented by the Israelites, they must be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. If any of the priests have a contagious skin disease or any kind of discharge that makes them ceremonially unclean, they may not eat the sacred offerings until they have been pronounced clean. If any of the priests become unclean by touching a corpse, or are defiled by a emission of semen, or by touching a creeping creature that is unclean, or by touching someone who is ceremonially unclean for any reason, they will remain defiled until evening. They must not eat any of the sacred offerings until they have purified their bodies with water. When the sun goes down, they will be clean again and may eat the sacred offerings. After all, this food has been set aside for them. The priest may never eat an animal that has died a natural death or has been torn apart by wild animals, for this would defile them. I am the Lord. Warn all the priests to follow these instructions carefully. Otherwise, they will be subject to punishment and die for violating them. I am the Lord who makes them holy. No one outside a priest's family may ever eat the sacred offerings, even if the person lives in a priest's home or is one of his hired servants. However, if the priest buys slaves with his own money, they may eat of his food. And if his slaves have children, they may also share his food. If a priest's daughter marries someone outside the priestly family, she may no longer eat the sacred offerings. But if she becomes a widow or is divorced and has no children to support her, and she returns to live in her father's home, she may eat her father's food again. But other than these exceptions, only members of the priest's family are allowed to eat the sacred offerings. Anyone who eats the sacred offerings without realizing it must pay the priest for the amount eaten, plus the added penalty of 20%. No one may defile the sacred offerings brought to the Lord by the Israelites. By allowing unauthorized people to eat them, the negligent priest will bring guilt upon the people and require them to pay compensation. I am the Lord who makes them holy. All right. We have come to the end of our reading today. And this is the Bible in 5 years. We're reading the Bible in chronological order. More than 300 stories. It's going to take us more than 2 years to do all this reading. And afterwards, we will continue to read the Bible, but we're going to read it in a different format. And but we're always going to keep it short and sweet. because we read verses here from 3 verses to about 30 or 34 verses. It depends on the chapter. And but that's what we're doing. We don't read 2 or 3 different chapters of the Bible of different stories or different things. No, we're trying to keep it in one story, one idea, one subject. So you remember and I remember what we read, what we get, what we do every day, what we get into the reading every day. And this project podcast is aimed for people who have not read the Bible. They don't know what the Bible says. They're not familiar with the Bible, or maybe they don't even care about the Bible. And it's okay. We're not gonna, we're not gonna judge you here. We're not gonna offend you or any of that. Not at all. Maybe you were hurt at your church and you don't want to pick up the Bible anymore. But sometimes you feel like you want to watch or listen to something about the Bible, and this will be a great opportunity, to listen or to watch one of these stories. And they're about 10 minutes or less. And I say watch or listen because we have them in Spotify and we have the videos and the audios there. And so they're 10 minutes or less. We only have a handful of some of them are more than 10 minutes, but it's just a handful. And so, below in the description, we have the links for the different platforms, which is, like I mentioned, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. So you can check all of those. YouTube, they're deleting their videos every 30 days. So after 30 days, they're gone. And but no YouTube or Spotify, no, they're there for hopefully forever. And so if you want to check early episodes like day number 100 or day 50 or day 1, day 2, day 3, you can go check them out and see what we have read about the Bible. And this so that's what we're doing. And like I said, this project is not for Christians. I said that earlier in other episodes. And don't get afraid or don't get like, oh really? Well, it's not. This is for people who have not read the Bible. But if you're a Christian, the way you can support us and help us is by, again, going below in the description where the links are, like and subscribe in those ones, and share the episodes with other people. We also do the recordings in Spanish. Yeah, it's me who does them too. The same way I don't read very well in English, the same way I don't read very good in Spanish. I make mistakes. I'm a human. I'm not a machine. I'm not an AI. Not at all. And anyways, but I'm doing it. So, if it helps you in any way, great. And if it doesn't, also, you're welcome. Let us know where you're listening from, where you're watching from. We want to send greetings to people who are watching in England or listening in Guatemala, in Spain, in Andalusia, Valencia, in Argentina, Entre Rios, in Poland, in Mazovia, in Mexico, in Estado de Mexico, in Sonora, in Hidalgo, in Greece, in a place called Attica, in Russia, in Moscow, in Australia, in a place named Queensland, also in Texas, Washington State, Virginia, South Dakota, Florida, New Hampshire, New Jersey, California, and I'm sure other places. So thank you for listening and watching. I better stop talking before it gets to 9 minutes. See you tomorrow.